Have you ever dropped $500, heck, even $5,000 on Facebook ads and get nothing but crickets? No leads, no phone calls, no booked jobs, no new customers, no revenue. It's not because Facebook ads don't work, it's because you're missing these 5 crucial things in your business that makes you not ready to even run Facebook ads. So in this video, I'm going to show you what every contractor, local service-based business owner needs to fix first so your ads will actually lead to booked jobs, new customers, and revenue for your business. So here's what we're going to cover in the video. Why clicks don't turn into calls, and we're going to talk to you about how to fix that. Okay, what makes your offer sound like every other free estimate ad, and also how to fix that. 3, how you turn your website into a 24/7 sales machine. What trust signals you must have before you run paid ads, meaning we need people to actually trust you before they decide they're going to click on your ad and call you. And then finally, how to track the real return on investment so you know what's working. And we've done this for companies like Permanently Concrete Fence that helped them scale to, I don't know, I think we're like 3+ million now, all using these same strategies for Facebook. So let's jump right into the video. So before you spend a dime on ads, your Facebook, your social media needs to show that you're a real person and a real business, right? So imagine this, someone sees your ad, they click on it, and they land on your page and it's empty, or worse, it's got like a bunch of boring free estimate, you know, get a free estimate today, you get your roof service today, get a new fence today. Or even worse than that, I think, is having posts out there that are generic, like, hey, it's happy cookie day, crap like that means nothing. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to build an organic video content strategy, right, that's going to build trust. And why is this huge, right? Why is video huge? Well, number one, you're watching me on video right now, so we're gaining trust right now because you actually see me talking, you see me talking about strategies, you see me talking about how to grow your business, how to grow with marketing, all these things. And it's building a connection and a trust because you see my personality, you see things about me. So you should be doing the same for your business, okay? So why is this a big deal? Number one, people buy from people that they trust, right? The more you see my videos, the more you local, homeowner sees your videos on social, the more they're going to trust you, okay? Second, Facebook is built on content, connections, and not just ads. If the only thing you're doing is advertising to buy my product or buy my service, and there's no real connection, you're not really helping somebody by showing them like, these are the things you need to think about, this is what you should do, this is how you solve your problem, they're not going to trust your business. So content is just huge in building the connection, okay, on your site. And then the ad is just an invite. Your profile and videos are going to show that you're proof that you're worth actually talking to, okay? So here's 5 types of video content that actually work that you can implement in your business. So number 1, problem-aware content. Shows that you understand customer. That's the goal of the problem-aware content. So an example of this would be like, hey, is your fence leaning over or sagging after every storm? Here's why it happens and how to stop it for good, right? That's a good video. It's just problem-aware content. It's making these homeowners aware that they have a problem. And once again, you're showing understanding for what they're going to. Next, get into is solution-aware content, okay? So how you want to show how you solve the problem. Now, example video would be like, hey, we just installed this vinyl fence that never rots, warp, or fades. Here's why it's perfect for Alabama weather. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but that being the factor of the case, we actually have run similar content like that for our concrete fence company. We're like, hey, we just installed this concrete fence over here. It never rots, warps, whatever, lasts a lifetime. Okay. Next, social proof content. Okay, builds credibility and trust. So customer testimonials, just walking through a whole project, sharing reviews, things like that are powerful here. And getting a customer testimonial on video is even more powerful. So example would be like, here's what the Johnsons had to say after we finished their patio, right? So have them talking about before, man, we wanted to host parties, we wanted to do this, we wanted to do that, but we couldn't do it because like all we have is a gross backyard. But then so-and-so came out, they gave us a vision for what we wanted to do with our patio. They showed us the best ways to use it, best ways to design it if you want to grill or have people over, and then they went and made it a reality. Now we can go do what we wanted to do, which is host parties, things like that. That's a powerful testimonial. That tells a story. Okay. Next, brand building content. So show your personality, your process, and your people. This YouTube video right now is brand building content for me and my business at Presto Media. Now, I'm here saying like, you should work with us. We should grow your business. We should do your marketing, advertising. I'm just showing you things that's going to help you grow your business, right? I'm showing my personality and what I'm about. So we build trust, right? I'm practicing what we preach. Okay. Example, here's what our crew does before every job to make sure nothing gets missed. Okay. That's fantastic. Okay. So like example from you, like here's sharing our 12-month, SEO guide that we follow to grow your business, help you rank number one and drive more traffic to your business, right? That is me walking through that video, me showing you this content here is a behind the scenes. So if you're a business owner, behind the scenes of what you do, and what you're going to do to make sure you don't mess up, or if you do mess up, this is how we fix it. Okay. Last, behind the scenes, remove mystery and make people feel comfortable with doing business with you. Okay. So example would be, come with me to a job in Hoover, Alabama, where we're replacing a 20-year-old wood fence with aluminum, right? And then just have them walk through, talk about your process, talk about how you deal with your fence crew, or whatever it is you're doing, right? And how you talk with the homeowner. And of course, obviously get permission. And these are going to be hugely powerful for your business. So when you do run a Facebook ad, right, they come and they see this and they see that you're a real business. They start trusting you, and they're more likely to click on your ad and your offer, okay? So what do you need to do next to make this happen so your ads will actually be clickable? Well, number one, pull out your phone, not your excuses. Just use a phone. Go buy a DJI mic so you have good, clear audio. I do recommend that. But pull out your phone and start recording. Doesn't have to be perfect. The people that make millions of dollars and start on social media just start with a phone and a mic. Heck, I still use a phone and a mic, and I still make money, and I still grow businesses. I have other companies that all we've used is a mic and my cell phone, and we've grown to millions of dollars. So just keep that in mind. Okay, don't overthink it. Just start posting 2-3 short videos a week. Heck, just post one. Just start doing it. That's the thing. Get the reps in, as Patrick Carr says. And then show up like a real person who knows what they're actually doing, right? That's it. That's what you need to do to get started with this, with building a video content, or really just an organic social media strategy. Next thing you need to fix is your offer and your message. Okay, your offer is the reason someone's not scrolling. It's not good enough, right? The hook, the visual is not good enough. Your message is what makes them believe you're the one that can help. Okay, and if both are weak, your ad money is just going down the drain. That's why the generic ads that people use as a template and marketing companies say, oh, this ad will get you a bunch of leads. It doesn't fit your brand. It doesn't fit your business. It's going to probably get you leads, yes, but it's not going to be the leads of people that actually trust you, and it's going to make it harder to actually sell those leads. That's why a lot of companies, they've hated marketing companies for a while, because they thought this would be a shortcut. They thought I'd get a bunch of leads, only to realize that it's not what they seemed it to be, and they just, at that point forward, right, they just assume marketing doesn't work, or Facebook ads don't work, when in all reality, they just didn't do it the right way. Okay, that's just it, period. Okay, so what makes a strong offer? One, you're solving a specific pain point. Okay, so call whatever your ideal customers, what are they most frustrated with? Another example, and I'm using this example right here because I saw this in multiple times in a Facebook group. Still waiting a week just to get a fence quote? That is a pain point. Right? That there is a pain point. If you have a process that can get them a quote the same day or before they leave your property, think about how valuable that is, especially somebody who's frustrated with just waiting a week to get a fence quote. And I literally saw this in Facebook groups, and that's why I put it on here in the video. Okay, so just think about that. That is a specific pain point that they're dealing with, and they don't want to have to deal with again. Okay, so what makes a strong offer now? All right, clear, benefit-driven promise. So explain what you do for them, but do it in plain English, in third grade reading level English. Okay, so same-day fence quotes backed by real inventory, no waiting. Right? You want a fence? You ready to spend thousands of dollars? Let's get it done right now. We got the inventory. We're here. We're ready to get it done now. Then, what's another thing that makes a strong offer? Okay, something that feels unique and urgent. So add a reason why you should act now and choose you. We deliver materials fast and install in days, not weeks. Once again, benefit-driven, feels unique, and it's urgent. Okay? So a great formula to use is this. And I've used this formula in other videos before, especially when talking about your marketing message. Now, it doesn't have to be exactly like this, but this gives you a great starting point. So number one, on this formula, we help this specific type of person solve this specific problem so they can receive this outcome, this benefit, And we do it in this unique way or time frame or whatever, right? Great formula. Use this for a lot of your copy and content and social media. So, example, we help homeowners in Birmingham. That's a specific person. And you can go even deeper. We help busy entrepreneurs. We help lonely singles. I don't know. You get what I'm saying, right? Who are tired of shady roofers get quotes the same day, right? So they're tired of shady roofers and they're going to get quotes the same day and a new roof installed in 7 days backed by certified warranties. So think about your business for a moment. How can you take this formula, take what you do, the audience you serve, fit it in there to put in your ads? So how do we do this? What do you need to do next? First, write down 3 most common customer complaints that you get. It could be about competitors, about just your industry in general. Then list the outcomes you deliver that people love. It's not just like, oh, I got a new roof. That's not the outcome. The outcome is I don't ever have to worry for a roof again, or I can now sell my home for $20,000 more when I only paid $10,000 for the roof, or the outcome is, now I talked about it earlier. I got a new patio so I can start hosting the parties that I wanted, right? Or, if I'm a real estate person, hey, these people got the bigger home they wanted now so they can start hosting more people or hosting all the family gatherings because they have the room for it. So think about the outcome, okay? Create one short sentence that connects the two and then test that sentence as a headline on your next Facebook ad or organically in social media. The things you want to avoid though, okay, is Me Too phrases, free estimate, quality work at affordable prices, locally owned and operated. Those are kind of a given that you're advertising in that local area. All right, the third thing that we're going to talk about that you need to fix before you run Facebook ads is making sure that your website doesn't kill the sale for you, okay? People, if it's a landing page website, it doesn't matter. If they're going to decide in 5 seconds if they trust you or not. And if not, your site is slow, it's unclear what you do, it's full of just stuff they don't need, fluff, right? They're going to bounce. So essentially your ad didn't fail, right? The Facebook ad didn't fail. Your website did. So let's look at one that is actually working. How do I know it's working? Because it's my fence supply company and I'm running the ads and I'm getting $12 to $20 leads and I'm getting a ton of conversions. Matter of fact, I had a phone call come in while I was shooting this YouTube video. I'm getting 2 or 3 leads a day and the people are actually responding and whatever, right? So I know this works. So I've got social proof, trust that, hey, this is a website that's actually working or a landing page. So let's look into it. So above the fold, all right, you want to look at your headline. So here's my headline. It's obvious. This is the last fence you'll ever install, because we're only selling one type of fence. So a lot of mistakes that people will make is they try to sell a bunch of services inside of one offer. It should be like, if I'm a fence contractor, I want to sell, if I want to do vinyl fences, I'm going to talk about vinyl fences. Let's say I want to do a roof. I'm going to talk about a specific type of roof that we do, certainty shingles, or a new one that JF come out with is like a timber steel roof, right? I'm going to do an ad about that. And I want people to come buy that specific product and why they're going to do it, okay? So we deliver or we supply permanently concrete fences, right? So it's the last fence you ever install. That's your headline. So I know, oh, okay, that's what I'm getting because the ad said that, right? Then we talk about what we do and who we do it for here. So it says we supply permanently concrete fences, a generational fence built to last a lifetime, backed by guaranteed product, installed by a trusted local contractor through our network, okay? And then the next part is it's super easy to contact us. So take a look. Phone number right there. And guess what? If you push that, it's going to call us. You don't even have to type the number in. Second, form fill. Boom. Right there. I don't have to push a button, go to another page, then fill out the form. It's all right here. So immediately, if my ad got me to here, this tells me what we do, I don't really need to go any further. I got trust. I'm going to fill out my information, and I'm going to hit submit, and I never had to go to another page. Okay? Now, also down further on the page, because I couldn't screenshot this whole thing, we have our social proof. Put the testimonials in there. Put the case studies. Put if you're Google guaranteed. Put if your 5-star reviews in there. If you have like on our Presto Media website, my company website for marketing, we have video testimonials on there. So we have clients that talk about what we've done for their business. Not necessarily like, oh, these are specific strategies. It's like here's what they've experienced working with us, and here's the outcome they got of their business. Powerful testimonials. And every time I get a new one, guess what? we throw it on the front of the website because I want people to know what it's like working with my company and my business. All right. So do those specific things on your site, and it'll help you convert your ads a lot better. So the next thing you need to work on is dialing in your social proof and trust signals. Now, the truth is this. Look, most people don't fill out forms or call you just because your ad looks good, right? Majority of the time, it's not the case. They're going to Google you, they're going to check your reviews, and they want to see if you feel like you're somebody local to their area. Okay, like if you look at, once again, I'll refer to our website. We changed it over to be a local website. Our content is a lot of local stuff, right? So it feels like we're in your market, in your area, in your neighborhood, so you can trust us because we're from here. Okay, so what are folks checking out? They're looking at your Google reviews. Okay, this is your digital word of mouth. It matters more than any logo you have or any tagline you have. How many times have you gone to Amazon and then you see a product you want to get, you see the price, and you immediately go to the reviews to figure out how many do they have? Is it above a 4.8 or 4.7? And what are the crappy things people are saying about it? And is it enough for me to decide if I want to buy the product or not? The same thing's happening here. Okay, so what you want to do to kind of optimize this is, one, aim for 50 plus reviews if you can. Make sure your average rating is 4.5 plus. I would say, honestly, I say that probably 4.7, 4.8 plus, depending on how many reviews you have, is a great way to start. Reply to every review, shows that you actually care and you're listening to feedback from customers. Good or bad, you need to reply. And then have a recent one like this week, not last year, on there. Okay, so action. Here's what you need to do. Ask happy customers right after job ends. Make it easy with a link or QR code. So anytime you're done dealing with a customer or experience, ask them to write a review about your company or your business. Okay. Other things folks are checking out. Job photos to prove that, once again, you're local. So Instagram is now, as this video is being recorded, is indexing sites or indexing your posts on Instagram. So making sure that you're putting in your captions and in your videos things about local area, like, you know, if I'm in Birmingham, Alabama, I do a job in Hoover or in Pelham or in Mountain Brook or in Vestavia, that's more impactful than saying Birmingham, right? Because, you know, a ton of people I know don't live in downtown Birmingham. They live in all these suburbs I'm calling out. So it's more impactful if I say things like Chelsea or Hoover or Pelham or Helena. That's going to be impactful for people. So show before and after shots, show your team on the job, recognize the landmarks if possible. Like if you do a video on the way to a job site, show something that you would drive by, okay? Bonus, add location captains. We talk about this in the area, especially if you're throwing this out on Instagram, because once again, Instagram is now being indexed by Google. Okay, use your phone. Don't overthink quality. Authenticity over fancy. Now, what are other things folks are checking out? Local language in your copy. When we talk about copy, we're talking about the words that happen on social media, the words on your website. That's called copy. Okay, and as a business owner, you should learn and understand some marketing copy. It's just one of the small hats you should wear. You can't just trust another marketing company to handle all for you and be like, oh, it sounds good. At some point in time, you need to understand marketing in your business, and copy. It doesn't have to be to an expert level, but enough to make sure you know what it is, how to identify what's good or bad. All right. So if your website or ad says, we serve the entire Southeast U.S., it's not really helpful. Okay. You want to use specific towns or counties. So like, you want to be like, oh, we serve Birmingham, Alabama. And I'm going to keep using Birmingham because that's where I live. We want to say things like serving Hoover, Pelham, and Vestavia Hills, because that's where people relate most, because they live in those areas. Even better than that, a headline or ad that says, already helped 137 homeowners in the Hoover 280 corridor area this year. Well, if I live in that area, I know exactly where that's at, and I know the homeowners they serve, and I know if I live in that area, or I even know that where it's at. It doesn't matter. I don't even have to live in the area. I know what we're talking about, okay? That is being very specific about your language to make it seem and know that you're local and you know what you're talking about, okay? What do you want to avoid? Serving all areas near you. Well, where is that at? Near me could be anywhere. So be specific on this. What are other things folks are checking out? Project highlights your case studies. So show off a few jobs. Explains the challenge, what you did, and what was the result. Before photos, short paragraph explaining the situation, what was happening, and then after photo results, quote from homeowner. So example, we replaced this old wooden fence with a 6-foot privacy fence in Chelsea. It took 2 days. And the homeowner said, finally gave them peace of mind for their dogs. I ain't worried about my dogs getting out again, and the neighbors getting mad at me for the dogs getting out. There you have it. All right. So what do you need to do next to solve this problem? One, look at your Google Business Profile. How's your review count and recency? Now, this has nothing to do with Facebook ads, but when we're talking about SEO and rankings, one of the biggest things you can do that's impactful is getting consistent reviews. We call review velocity. Consistent 5-star reviews is going to help you show up more often. So make sure you're consistently getting reviews for your business. Okay. Post at least 3 real photos to social media this week. Add core service area towns in your ad copy and homepage. So don't just say, oh, we're here in Birmingham. Just be like, hey, we are down the street from, Hoover High School helping this homeowner in Deer Creek Park or Stadium Trace Parkway, right? That's very specific, okay? Write one mini project spotlight, just a few sentences with a before-after photo, and then remove any generic we service your area language from your site. Now, the last thing you need to fix, and it's really a 2-part thing, is you need to know your numbers and follow up like you mean it. This is where most business owners lose revenue, lose customers, lose leads, and they blame everything on marketing because they don't have this in place. Like this is a business issue. This is a process issue, not a marketing issue. Okay. So you need to fix this first. So when you do have leads come in, let's say you fix all these steps before leads come in, then they go to crap because you don't have all this stuff in place. So let's get into it. Let's talk about your numbers. All right. So if you run ads without knowing your numbers or having a follow-up process, you're basically gambling, right? This isn't marketing. You're just gambling with what you're doing. This is where most business owners burn cash, blame the ad platform, and like I just said this a second ago, it's the leak is on their end. It's not on the ads. So let's get into it. So what numbers do you need to know? First thing is this, cost per lead. How much does it cost, or how much are you spending to get one person to reach out to your business, fill out a form, give you a call? What does that cost you? So if I spend $500 on ads, I get 10 people calling me or filling out a form, that's 10 leads. Even if they don't answer right away, you got to call them and follow up. We'll get to that in a second. You can't fix or scale what you don't track. So if you don't know how many leads are coming in and you don't track that, and you don't know what the cost is, you're not going to know how you're going to scale or where you need to improve. Next number, close rate. At every 10 leads I get, how many customers become paying customers? So example, 3 out of 10, 30% close rate. So if that is what I average, I know my close rate is 30%. If your close rate is under 20, your sales process might be the issue, not your ads. Okay, so think about that. And that a lot of times that happens. It's a pit between service businesses and marketing companies. They're like, well, you're not closing well enough. Well, your ads suck and your leads suck. Well, I mean, it could be a little bit of both. But at the end of the day, if you blame each other, you're not going to close more business, right? And in this case here, like, if your sales closes under 20%, I want to look at what's happening during that sale to see if it is a marketing problem or maybe it is just a sales process problem so we can make the fix, right? So like when we work with companies, they're like, yeah, these leads just aren't closing. I'm like, all right, walk me through what is your exact process. If they don't have a process or they don't have the ones we recommended to help them, then I'm going to be like, you need to fix this first. Because if you don't have consistency in the sales process to know your close rate, then yeah, it's going to be hard to determine if the marketing is working or not. So, but if we're having the same consistency in the sales process and they're just not closing, we're going to look at the marketing and the whole process to make sure that we can dial it in so the close rate increases. Other number you need to know. So average revenue per job or per customer or per whatever you do. So how much money does each job bring in? So if your average job is $4,500 and you close 2 out of 10 leads from $500 in ad spend, you made $9K from $500. And I know some people are like, well, it's not what I profited. Well, we're not talking about that. We're talking about revenue in terms of advertising. But that's a win, right? If your margins are correctly, like that's a business problem. That's not a marketing problem. If your margins are great, let's say a $4,500 ticket, we make, 40% margin on it. Just throwing a number out there, okay? Then I know that I made enough money off $500 of advertising and I got a return on my investment. So that's a win, but only if you know it. Now that we know the basics of the numbers that we need to be tracking, let's talk about follow-up, right? Because these kind of go hand in hand. That's why I put them together. So if you don't follow up within 5 to 10 minutes, someone else is typically going to. So if you're running a Facebook ad, you need some type of text, email, phone call. Nowadays you have AI phones that can reach out, but the problem with that I found is like some people will fill out an ad at 1 o'clock in the morning, and to get a phone call at 1 o'clock in the morning is really weird, and they're going to know it's like AI or somebody overseas calling. So I don't think it's the best, But what I've done, like in our fence company we're running ads, is we'll take I'm getting information from them, it's specific, but I'll go ahead in the follow-up text, ask them for kind of the same information as a starting point. Hey, I know we got your info. Could you shoot this over to me real fast? And it gets them to engage in the conversation and send me immediate text back. Even if it's 1 a.m. in the morning, no big deal. I'll at least follow up the next day, or I can start a conversation in a text message if I'm busy. All right, so 78% of leads go with the company that calls first. Typically, when I went to get new lawn care, I went with a company that called me back first. And I say call me back because the other ones didn't answer the phone when I called the first time. Wild, right? Most contractors could take hours or days to respond, which is crazy to me, and that's just money out the door. I saw a Facebook post the other day where all the time I see contractors struggling. I can't get leads, I'm not getting sales, and I'm like, and then I saw a homeowner go, hey, we had a contractor, we called the contractor like 3 or 4 times, they didn't answer. They didn't call out, they didn't send me a quote back, and I'm like, yeah, and you wonder why you don't get business. People want to hand you money, follow up with them. Act like you want to do business with them. So, what do you need in place? First, it's technology age. You need a CRM. But if you're not going to do a CRM, at least have a spreadsheet. Get off pen and paper pad or whatever. Track every single lead you get in. I don't care if figure out where the source came from. If it's a referral, track it. If it came in from a Facebook ad, track it. Google ad, track it. Organic, I found you on Google, track it. Know where your leads are coming from and document that. We use software called What Converts that actually it does that tracking for us. It determines if they're an organic lead, if they came from an ad or Google, whatever. So that way we can see where leads are coming from, where we need to improve. But not everybody can do that. Now, if you work with our company, you get that. Now, we don't know where it came from, when it came in, and what happened with it. So even tracking your follow-up process, like you could improve the follow-up to make it better. So example, we sent out a generic text. We had a Facebook lead come in for our fence company. We sent out a generic text like, hey, well, we're going to reach out to you ASAP. Well, reaching out just was slow coming back. But what has increased our engagement and allowed us to get more estimates out was asking them to send something to me back immediately, to give me an immediate answer. And that engaged the conversation a lot faster. So that's something to think about. That's something we optimized in our follow-up process to help us get more estimates out and close more deals. All right, so examples. Use your Google Sheet if you want to. Go High Levels 1, we use it in our company. If you're a contractor, Jobber, HubSpot, Roofer, however you say it, great company, by the way, I love them. Or ProLine is another great one. You can use those companies as CRM. All right. So next, this is difficult. You can hire a VA to do this overseas if you want and train them, but you need a designated person to handle this. So at some point in time, if you're growing a business, the recommendation, people are like, well, how do I get to that point and know that I can trust to hire or have enough revenue coming in to hire this person? Well, number one, stack a bunch of cash. Stack a bunch of cash. So for 6 months, you could pay somebody to do this and get them trained up and not worry about the money. And that's just part of doing business and growing a business. So stack a bunch of cash, get a designated person. This person should own the follow-up, okay? Not whenever I feel like getting around to it. They need to be on it, well-trained, and like a machine, okay, a very personal machine. They call, they text, they email, and they do it very quickly, okay? Don't rely all on automations. Now, break down what success looks like. So if we get 10 leads in, let's say they're $50 a pop, okay, that's $500. If we close 2 of those jobs at $4,000 each, that's $8,000. That's $7,500 in profit after ad spend. Right? So you spent ad, or I say profit, let's say revenue. Let's say those are your profit margins. $4,000, I get a $4,000 profit margin. Okay. That means I spent $500 and I got $8,000. So we profited $7,500. That is how you scale confidently, and you're not just hoping that your ads are going to work. All right. So what do you need to do? Set up a CRM. Notice I bolded that. You could do a spreadsheet, get a CRM. They're affordable. They're tax deductible. You can write them as a business expense, and they are 100% worth it. Okay. Assign one person to follow up with leads fast and consistently. Start tracking your CPL. What's your cost per lead, your close rate, revenue, how much you're making on these jobs. And then run a pretend campaign and ask, hey, would this be profitable for our current processes that we have in place? So as you can see, Facebook ads do work. Sometimes it's just the business part that's on fire that needs to be put out and fixed in order for your Facebook ads to be successful. So you're not just another one of those people that's like, hey, Facebook ads don't work or marketing doesn't work. And of course, if you need help with all this stuff, our company at Presto Media, we do this kind of thing, not with just Facebook ads, but also with SEO, web design, Google ads, all the things you need to grow your business. There's a link below. You can click on it. And obviously book a call with us. We'll go through a strategy, see if it's a good fit to work with you. And if you want to know more about some of the other things that can help grow your business when it comes to paid advertising, check out the video coming up next. It's Facebook ads versus Google ads. Which one's going to be best for contractors, probably in 2025 and beyond. Check that video out. We'll see you on the other side.